Well, that sucked.
That was an interesting day. The weather was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it just total difference morning to afternoon. It was just like crazy, crazy day.
Yeah. That just spending that whole morning running around, grabbing things,
Yeah.
trying to grab those polycarbonate panels.
7 feet by 11 foot long polycarbonate panels just flying through the air, tumbling down the open areas. You'd think it was going to stop. It'd lay down. You think, oh, good, it's there. And then you'd pick up again and go flying again. And
I was going to say, we thought Friday was bad with the wind and the dust and the stuff in the eyes. So much worse on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. So Saturday, we had winds, steady winds of upper 30 miles per hour with gusts into the upper 50s. Some places reported up to 60 miles per hour. So that was a lot of wind.
And you felt it.
What started the... Sorry, I'm trying to move over here. I just realized I'm
dangerously
coming up on my exit and I'm not ready. Quit bugging me, dang it. I've got to drive.
Let's cut this bit.
So what started the whole day was, I woke up, we both woke up
at 3
about 3 o'clock in the morning. And Brady didn't know what woke him up, but what I know what woke me up was this terrible scraping noise over the top of the fifth wheel. And I was like, what in the world was that? I'm like, that couldn't just be a tumbleweed or anything. Because I mean, we're having these winds and the trailer's moving and we're hearing winds and all that, but we go to sleep. But then to wake up to that, that wasn't a tumbleweed. I know it had to be something else. And I even went outside and just to look around. Of course, I was still then super worried about whether or not the shed was standing or whether the cattle panel hoop house got ripped apart, which we're going to make another video about the cattle panel hoop house because it's amazing that thing's still standing.
Yeah.
And I think I know the reason why. We'll show you that. But anyway, so I got up and looked around. Okay. After that, I couldn't sleep. Finally, I don't know what time it was. Sometime in the morning, I got up another time, and then a third time, I think, if I remember right.
I was having a hard time sleeping because he kept slamming the door
as I'm going in and out.
Just as hard as he could.
You have to slam the door to close it.
It
won't just close.
And if you open the latch and push and then let go of the latch, it closes. That's all you have to do.
You have to slam it.
You really do not.
If you want to wake Brady up, you do.
That is true. I was about to get up and go yell at you to knock it off because I was trying to sleep.
I was taking care of the property. I was concerned about it. I went out and moved stuff around and re-secured stuff down. And anyway, I was just, after having to, whatever it was, scrape over the top of the fifth wheel, I was worried about our tin panels out there. Even though we had 2 big pallets on them, I thought, man, that wind is so strong. If it caught it just right. And actually, luckily, there was like a piece of thin foil type insulation stuff that got pressed up against it in the corner. I'm like, I think that may have saved those panels from getting blown off, actually, because it just created a wall so it didn't get underneath the panels and blow them off. But I put another panel on top of those, or another pallet on top of those to make sure those were down. I moved a piece of furniture that was out by the hoop house that I was afraid was gonna blow into the hoop house. Anyway, so but the most disappointing thing of the day
The hoop house got a rip in it.
A rip?
A couple rips and a couple
A
holes.
couple rips?
Yeah.
Like 3 big gashes, at least 3 feet long. I know one of them's at least 4 feet long. I think 2 of them are about 4 feet long, and the other one's about 3 feet long. And then multiple little cuts and scrapes, because again, a polycarbonate panel must have hit that, ripped it, scraped over the top of it. So that was rather disappointing. Very disappointing.
Well, worst of all, I lost one of my hats.
That was disappointing too.
Got blown off by the wind, and I didn't have time to chase it down. But then I saw it get carried over and catch on the massive wall of tumbleweeds that was building up on our tractor.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, great, it'll just be there. And
Yeah.
then I went back and it was gone. It must have blown under and off somehow. So
Just whipped it. I don't know. Yeah, it looked like it was secure in its spot. I too thought, oh, okay, good, that's there. We'll grab that later. But I guess it wasn't there.
No.
We looked around a bit downwind, didn't see it.
Yeah.
But one thing that was really nice is after we went around and helped. First thing we did is go around and put stuff on top of polycarbonate panels that were down, and to prevent them from coming up again. I really didn't want them to cause more damage to my hoop house, and we already knew some of them had gone down further, but we needed to recover those. What those panels were for a group that bought greenhouses, and so they had all these panels, 2 big stacks of these polycarbonate panels, and they had secured them down with big buckets of bolts and things like that were pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And they felt pretty good about that, but the wind
enough.
caught it just right or whatever, enough to lift one up, throw those off, and then the other ones came off. And in fact, we have a video, maybe you can show that here, that a neighbor caught a neighbor's place where their insulation panel started doing that, where something happened just right where it finally caught one, and then they're just multiples coming off. It was crazy.
looked like someone throwing cash. Just
Yep. And then we're out there, so we put stuff on those to hold them down, big pieces of wood and blocks and
piles of dirt,
anything we could do to hold those down. And then people got together, and we had, as you see in the video there, that we had 10 people or so working, just going around, which we needed because you had to hold on to those all the time. If corner came up, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos, but if a corner came up and caught it, all of a sudden the thing wanted to take off. In fact, at one point they lost one of them before we got back over there. We were working on some other ones over to neighbors to secure those down there, the ones that were going to hit our greenhouse if they got loose. So we were working on those first, then we went to go help the other people and said, oh, we lost one already. It just got caught and took off.
Yeah. See, when we were grabbing some 3x6s from the greenhouse to go lay on panels and stuff, I saw one blow onto our property and catch one of our big trees, which a couple panels managed to do that.
Yeah.
So one of our linden trees is at about a 45-degree angle because the panel hit it. And then Clint's favorite tree, the red oak, is now flat on the ground.
It got taken out.
And so I saw one of the polyiso panels come over and boom, hit one of the other trees, and it stuck on it, and I can see it bending it and everything. So I ran over and pulled it off of it and held it on the ground and was yelling at Clint, but the wind was so loud. Could not hear me.
I didn't know where Brady was. And I was with a neighbor there who was helping, and we were, I don't even know.
I was like 30 feet away.
I know. and we're going to do something else. We did whatever it was, and I started coming back. I look over, and there's Brady lying on a polycarbonate panel, just laying down there like, oh, there he is.
I had been standing on it, and I wasn't like on a far corner or edge or anything, and it managed to get underneath it, flip an edge up, and just got air under the panel, slid it out from under me. I fell on the ground. It smacked me in the head. Yeah, like I said, I was like 30 feet away, yelling.
We did not know.
And with that wind, could not hear me.
It was crazy. We got footage there of Brady running to chase one down. running. It just kept moving. He slowly gained time until he could jump on it. That was great.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, it was crazy. But we ended up picking up at least, there was either 28 or 29. I tried to count them all, and it was hard to keep track of them the way they were layered on the trailer. But about 28 panels that had just flown away, and that's what we had to recover. They were stuck up against a neighbor's solar panels.
And then most of them were just on the ground.
Yes, most of them are on the ground, different places. There was one that pressed up against our hoop house that wasn't there when we first started getting everything secured down. I don't even know where that one came from.
Yeah.
And we were over at the neighbor's, and so we got his down, and we started leaving and look over, and there's this one pressed up against our hoop house. I'm like, oh no. And I'm thinking, do we leave it there or do we try to pull it off?
Because it was just pressed on there flat.
Yeah.
And it was just staying, so it wasn't doing anything. And so we're like, guess we can just leave it. But then as we started driving away, we could see it start sliding down and everything, and it ended up flat on the ground as we were like hurrying onto the property to get it.
The edge of it started lifting up.
And so,
and then I'm like, it's lifting. We got to go stop that, because I'm just imagining the edge pulling up and the other edge just going and just poking a hole in our hoop house again. I'm just going, no. So we start heading over there, and then it's sliding down, and I'm just going, no. And it's moving more and more, and we're just like driving over there as fast as I can, and just as we get there, it comes, and then I'm just imagining it's going to lift up and just crash up against it again. Brady leaps out of the truck and runs over and lays on it again. We don't have video of that one.
No,
we were too much in a panic situation at that point. Save the hoop house. But, I'm glad that one didn't do more damage.
Yeah. And it seems that we recovered all of the panels for the greenhouse group and everything.
I seriously think we got all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance that there might be one or two out there that may have gone even further north that we didn't see looking around for it. So that was quite the day. Yeah. And then of course, a lot of the neighbors had issues. Of course, I mean, those are the things that we were dealing with on our end of the valley. But as we're cleaning up some of the polycarbonate panels, we see over the neighbors, and actually that's the neighbor who had the polycarbonate on his place. Look over, and they've got this big, huge kind of hoop house. It's a metal barn structure that they covered in plastic. They've got their trailers in there, and one end of it was off and just flapping. And this is big, and just flapping. I go, oh no! And then a little bit later, did you see it actually come off?
I didn't see it come off. I wanted to, because I was looking at it, I was like, I know that's going to pop off any second.
Yeah.
But either you or Lynn said something, and I turned around to say something to you guys, and I turned back, and it was gone. I couldn't even see it in the air or anything. It was, the instant it was free, boom, out of there.
It was gone. Yeah, I felt bad for them. They did recover it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And in talking with them, they knew that there was a good chance it might do that, because I guess it was already kind of torn in places and wasn't in the best of shape. So they knew in that wind it might have issues, and it did. Who else? We had one family had a yurt out there, wasn't complete, but the shell was on and all. but it looks like the best guess is that the door that they had on is on the south side, and that's the direction the wind was blowing from. And the door was not complete. It didn't have the knobs on. It wasn't locked or anything. So I think the wind just blew that, and then the air coming in through that just lifted up and ripped off the top of the yurt. And so you see videos of that. We got a video of that. Numerous people lost plastic from different places. What else?
Lucky no children blew away.
Or got tagged. That was my biggest worry too, is that something would blow through there. I mean, it's like it's almost a tornado type situation. I mean, winds blowing like that. I mean,
there's debris, like the polycarbonate panels. Like we said, they're 7 by 11. I don't know how much they weigh.
They're not super heavy,
but they're not weightless, and they're stiff. They got dirty, hard edges and hard corners. And having been smacked in the head by one, that wasn't even the full weight of the thing. That was just an edge of it flipping up a bit and beating me in the back of the skull. That hurt.
Yeah, when we were out in the open field and we were rounding those up, all of a sudden I see one start heading our way, and it kept moving, and then I kept thinking it was going to come right at us, then kind of move. I think
that's the one I chased at us.
Was that the one you ended?
I think that's the one I ended up chasing down.
Anyway,
blew past us.
Yeah, blew right past us, within about 20 feet or so. I mean, that could have hurt somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, metal. I mean, like corrugated metal and stuff. That's why I was so worried about ours that we had. I mean, that definitely. I mean, that could take somebody out, kill them easy. I mean, so that was a little dangerous, but it was nice to see the community all come together. I mean, everybody was out trying to do things and help one another, make sure everybody was safe, make sure that things were battened down or cleaned up or whatever it might be. The other thing was tumbleweed. Of course, the tumbleweed. You see videos of the tumbleweed blowing by, and there were just, I mean, places were just covered in tumbleweed. One of our neighbors, he has a fence and then solar panels and then his trailer and then another fence and literally completely covered in about 8 feet of tumbleweeds. He couldn't even get out of his trailer. It was crazy. We have that picture, the video there of the wall. I mean, a big long wall. That had to be like 80-foot long wall of just 8-foot tall tumbleweeds. And
I got smacked in the face by tumbleweed a couple times yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, I did too. Yeah. I mean, because it was just, you couldn't help it. I mean, I think everybody was getting just tagged and you'd be
there was one where I saw a big one coming, so I stepped back to avoid it, and 3 other hit me.
Yeah. So anyway, that was quite the experience. And then to top it off, we knew the winds were going to change. And by looking at the weather thing, they'd been blowing from the south, and in the early afternoon, they were supposed to switch and then start blowing from the north. And sure enough, it did. And that was something. All that tumbleweed that was stuck up against fences and everything else, all of a sudden, and because it was sudden, it wasn't like it gradually happened.
Yeah.
It was blowing from the south, and then it kind of died down a little bit, and then it was blowing from the north, and all that tumbleweed all went just flying across. I don't know if we got video of that or not.
I don't think we did.
We were inside and happened to look outside, and then anyway. But and then it started to rain, and then it started to snow.
Snow heavily.
And we got a good snowstorm.
Yeah.
It was quite a crazy day.
Wild weather.
Yeah.
And then, of course, because of all that wind and dust, spent the rest of that day when we were inside, and Sunday wiping mud out of the corner of my eyes. Just constantly.
I went to a meeting where we talk about things that are going on at the ranch, and what people are doing, how it's working, all that, so we can help each other. And I'm sitting there, and of course, I've been feeling this kind of gritty, and I finally took my hat off, took my glasses off, and just kind of rubbed it, and I rubbed my eyes, and I go, dang, I had like a big old pebble in the corner of my eye.
Yeah, my eyes were raw and pink the entire next day.
Definitely would have been a day for goggles. I did see a few people with goggles on. The more experienced people out there already have their goggles. We needed to
get some wind goggles
for those days like that. According to others I talked to there, it sounds like that was the worst storm we've had out there. Worst windstorm like that.
Yep.
So fun day. One for the record book.
Yep.
Write in your journals about. You can tell your grandkids, oh, I remember back in early 2024.
The great windstorm.
The great windstorm of 2024. But anyway.
That's it.
Yeah. We didn't really get anything done on the property. No, but we did get things done for sure. So I was beat that.
Oh,
day.
Same. I was exhausted.
Yeah, I was beat.
Yeah. Kicked our butts.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you got a kick out of some of those videos.
If you like the video, if you like the story, be sure to like the video.
Yeah, I like that video.
If you've had any crazy weather events that you've been through, let us know in the comments what happened. I mean, we've got like
that's kind of
a bunch of them from the October. Was it November? Wait, what month? October. The October snowstorm when we were in Nebraska.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. Tell us yours.
Yeah.
And be sure to share this video with friends, family, enemies, lovers, random people on the street. Just make them watch it.
Make them.
Take people's phones, subscribe them to us.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It's not like that all the time. That's just a bad day.
Yep.
But it was a good one still. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys next time on
Castle Farms Homestead.